host. Today I'm going to talk about a very serious topic about stupidity in Bethesda and what they've been doing to its fanbase regarding the various issues surrounding when they establish IPs. It all stands for the broken release on Fallout 74, which many fans was not entirely happy at the state of the game. But on top of it all, it did when it was the whole issue of the Power Armor edition, where hardcore fans was promised a canvas bag to go with their Power Armor helmet, which some of them spent over stupidly amounts of money for the collector's edition. The bag, what they got in question, was not a canvas material. It was in fact a cheap quality dollar store nylon friendly shopper bag that doesn't tend to last very long. And the marketing department constantly try to pull this nonsense of saying, they couldn't fulfill the demands of their canvas bag because they ran out of material. But there was footage came to light of certain influencers and content creators being flown over to one of these studio events. So when they got to the hotel room, on the bed, the line waiting them was this goodie bag. The goodie bag turned out to be of canvas material.
Did you see that? I think that patch of
my cultural understanding is I beg to differ about the stupid idiotic response about saying, canvas is on short supply. But what I could put together was, if they can afford to knock out 45 to 60 influencers bags out of the material, sure, they can afford the materials they have to fulfill the demands on the pre-orders of the special edition Power Armor. But here comes the double stupidity. That was not the only idiotic thing that this company has done to its fanbase. The other idiotic thing they ever did was totally unspeakable, is ban people for using cheap programs and mod programs on mainly on the PCC version, which in Bethesda tradition in the games in the past, which they had no issue of players modding the games. But when people start modding Fallout 76 or 74, probably is it. Then Bethesda started banning people. Here's the kicker. In order to get the centrevez, they insist of you writing them a 100-page essay to why you think that modding and cheating in video gaming is wrong, which I totally disagree with that behaviour. These companies should not treat kids like school children. So it's in order to get your suspension lifted and that, we're going to give you homework to do. Which is not good for advert for the company in the whole. What this company trying to do is try to dig themselves into very deep ground and fastly but slowly started to lose the goodwill and faith of its player base. This is the whole demonstration of what not to do while running a company. You don't treat your player base like school children. It should not allow to happen. Why should somebody go out the merry way to write them a 100-page essay to explain why what they did was morally wrong? Yeah, I can guarantee that these companies take certain stance of things, people using technology like switching when it comes to these multiplayer games. For instance, like on this game, you can get reported and banned from lag switching because by right it is unfair advantage on people. But when it comes to using mods on the game, like I said, the Bethesda tradition in the past, which they had no real issue, and that when they're taking the ban hammer too far, it's like for instance, if you do bad at school, you got to wear this pointy hat with the word dunce on top, and you would be forced to stay at school after when the rest of your schoolmates go home. Then you have to write 100 lines saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. Something like this, cheating is wrong, cheating is wrong, cheating is wrong, and etc, 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 etc. But that school education do that for a reason, to help to teach kids a lesson, but that does not always work. But when the AAA companies use this stupid tactics like that, it can piss people right off. And here's the most stupidest things upon stupidest things that this company ever did to its player base was the whole issue of this nuclear dark vodka bottle issue, where these guys a cheap bottle of vodka inside a nuke plastic case. So with a fancy label for the plastic case is in the form you see on the actual game, and at the back it's got the Bethesda branding all over it. But on the actual bottle, what they did was they used something like Windows Paint. You used the most tackiest of fontage to knock off on loads and loads of labels to stick it on the bottle, and what they did was for the actual bottle they put a dirty great big Rimpo style cap on top, but they tried to do that way as a way of cheapening the product, because they think there's an issue of causing things like seepage and that upon delivery. But they couldn't be asked to get in the skilled glassmaker to make the glass bottles in as the shape as the Nuke. But it's Gundam did the whole comparison and adult on the Crystal Skull Head vodka that was produced by Dan Aykroyd. The bottle they showed was made out of glass material, not a glass, not as a bog standard glass in a full plasticated skull. That looks like something that you used to see and those cheap pocket playsets which can take apart. But when they cheapen the product and sell it to its customer base for over $100 dollars, it becomes deplorable and detestable. With when they did a fancy label on the plastic case, what they did was on the actual bottle. If you can package a bottle made out of glass properly, which won't knock or damage on delivery, and that is totally okay. But when the way they did it was ridiculous, and the vodka itself was not of the top quality. It seemed to me it was something like this: cheap, nasty, discounted cough medicine that's with the taste of licorice with a hint of coconut. In fact, a cheap bottle of cough medicine would have tasted a lot better than that crap they was producing. People were spending quite a lot of money on the vodka. Even the discount store vodka tasted a lot better than the one that Bethesda was serving out. Because the point being is, some people who got it, reviewed it, they was not happy with the taste. But the whole issue by placing a bottle inside of a plasticated case, it seems to me that is the Bethesda's version of Matryoshka dolls, which is one thing inside of another, inside of another, inside of another, inside of another. As when it does it, you get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. But that's what this bottle thing was like. That. Instead of making a bottle to look like a nuke shape, and when it comes to this bag issue, the most stupid thing upon stupidest things they ever did with surrounding the bag issue is by asking people to put in claim tickets so they could send canvas bags out to them, and somebody determined this. What they came up with was shocking, which they released the claimants' details on that online, which is a violation of people's anonymity, and that. Lucky enough, one thing, they didn't display the full card details. If they did display the full card details, it can open the door for hackers and that to steal your vital information so they can get exactly what they want with it, and you're going to get charged for it. But before that, to cap it all off, this company has an audacity to offer people an incentive for a measly 5 in-game atoms to spend in the video game store. And for 500 atoms is going to give you something like a planter and a doorknob, basically. That is it. Many content creators who reported upon this told their player base don't fall for it. If you're gonna accept it, it's gonna negate your chances of getting a partial refund or a replacement. But those are the idiocracy of what this company ever did to its player base. And it's a whole demonstration of how not to piss off your player base by doing these stupid underhanded tactics like these. And more these companies get away with doing it, more they can alienate the customer player base until people say that's it, we've had enough. If we used to like you as a company, you gone to the dark side. We will no longer be supporting your company or any products you get out because it would be end up taking a tarnish under the same brush. And once they lose the will and the faith of the player base, they're gonna have no player base left. It's called what not to do in a company. You're supposed to treat your players that also are your customers with loyalty and respect by not cheaping the products and making fragrant excuses, and by treating your player base like crap. By saying, no, in order for you to get on board, we want you to write a 100-page essay to give you so you can give us the understanding and morality of why what he did was moralistically bad. Who in the right mind gonna fall for that trick? If somebody with an analytic brain will not fall for that trick. And these people who run that company should be utterly shamed and give a full demonstration of what not to do.
Smell that? The devil splicers have their forges burning hot. They're building something.
Many people criticize this game over, should I say, the Destiny franchise in a whole when it comes to throttling XP games and cheapening the game in the experience to please the more casualized approach by alienating its hardcore player base, and on top of that the whole issue surrounding the Eververse problem. By the selling things like the Iron Banner tribute, exotic emo and that, but when it comes to banning people for lagging, but do you see Bungie said, "Oh, we just banned you recently because we believe that you're using cheat devices and that. In order for you to get your ban lifted, we want you to write us a 100-page essay why what you did was moralistically bad. Don't do that." But you still have the grounds to appeal. But the way that Bethesda handled these issues was the wrong way to and approach to handle this issue. It's called the morality and stupidity in AAA gaming. And it's basically like this. Ryan Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy call these long-time Star Wars fans male misogynists and crybabies for not liking The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. And that caused these long-term fans and that to get moralistically angry, which you get the likes of Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers hit back at them, and with this whole emphasis of getting both Kathleen Kennedy and Ryan Johnson to get woke or go broke type of thing, which was the buzzword of 2018. And how they treat their fan base like crap. Just like Paul Feig and Melissa McCarthy did the same to alongside Kate DePaul did to the Ghostbusters fandom in 2016 trash fest with the Ghostbusters name on it by taking pot shots at those who did not like the trailers and that, by calling them menstruating men babies living at home in the parents' basements and talking shit online. And alongside the whole handling surrounding the previous Doctor Who series with Jodie Whittaker, which many fans did not like the quality of the writing, which was preaching to the alt-right and the social justice movement by adding things like preachy politics and that, which focusing the issues of the arachnids in the UK and the Rosa Parks episode, in which arachnids UK, they had this guy who looks like a pseudo knockoff of Donald Trump, and which they forced this agenda in those shows, and taking pot shots at his core base by pissing him off is like that's been recently filtered in the gaming community with the likes of Bethesda, which is by making people write a long page essay about what they did was wrong, which is not a good way for the one's good image. But it seems to me that the higher ups is getting away with these tactics, which is not right, which they should not get away with it. What they did was lie and deceive its player base, which no company should ever get away with this. And it's likewise in these other established companies. Like the ones I've also mentioned with the likes of the BBC and this current iteration of Lucasfilm, instead of working with this community to understand their frustration but by putting it in the whole issue to a silver lining by correcting the mistakes they ever did. And by taking pot shots at YouTubers and the online social commentators for painting the company in a very bad light. When you come to running a company, first thing you don't do is treat your customers like crap by saying, oh, you did something stupidly bad. Now here's the kicker. We're gonna make you write this long page essay to tell us what you did was bad. It's not great. It's like having a harsh upbringing in the home. If you did something bad, they had this thing called the sanction book. In the sanction book, you got to give them a valid reason. What you did was moralistically bad. That's a home establishment. And they can do that to various degrees. In fact, they can't do that full stop. That's called mental torture on the person. But when these companies do it, is totally unforgivable.
More sets incoming.
And these companies should not get away with these scummy ass tactics. They should not. No matter who you are, if it doesn't matter if you're Activision, Bungie, Take-Two, THQ, or BioWare, when it comes to treating your loyal fan base, because the loyal fan base make you for who you are as a respected company. When you start disrespecting these the loyal fan base by saying, "Oh, you did something moralistically bad, something like this. Oh, we're gonna make you write 100-page essay or something like the Fall of Rome, for instance," which is not a great advert of how not to run a company. By cheapening products, by giving the inflammatory excuses why they ain't got enough materials to produce the bags, when they could produce bags of the highest quality to give to these content creators as a caveat for attending these events. But I did a video upon this, showing on camera a bag which was almost the highest quality that was produced for the Nintendo's Virtual Boy, and that was an inferior product from the 1990s. And what Bungie did right with the Hawthorne bag, unlike the Bethesda did about the canvas Vault-Tec bag, the Hawthorne bag was advertised by looks like that is made from the highest quality, and what did fans get?
This horse has taken major damage.
The actual quality bag that was advertised. There was none of this crap of we cheapened the product because we didn't have enough materials to fulfill the demands. And for your frustration, here is 500 glimmer.
Warset secure. All available data mapped and stored.
Or 500 silver to spend on the crappy ass emo in the Eververse store. It's totally stupid and ridiculous. So, and to cap it all off by cheapening the products with this Nuka vodka bottle issue was stupid, when they could just make them reinforced plastic bottles that would cause any knots or any breakages in delivery by pouring the product in the actual reinforced plasticated Nuka shells, which people would find it totally cool and that. Not this cheap ass consumer like your mobsters in the great time of the prohibition of the 1940s or whatever. That was deplorable and unexcusable for what these companies did. It's like buying a car with upgraded parts by passing it off as a new car to people that's gonna spend the cold hard cash that they earn from working hours and hours and hours on the so-called new car. By the time you get it and you realise that the parts and that isn't living up to scratch, and you realise the whole shock horror it is not a new car. It is the same old car that should say the same old maker car that you're currently driving with upgraded parts in it. By in the way called cheapening the product, instead of coming up with a 100% brand new car. It's like what the same thing about this Soldier Boy console. That was most recently gained controversy, unlike the nuclear bottle issue, which they charged so heavily for online for a superior product. This artist called Soldier Boy must have bought quite a lot of units of AliExpress by putting his brand of Soldier Boy on it in order to charge his people over a couple of $100 for something that looks like a Xbox One X shell with a very cheap mod emulation chip inside. That's pre-loaded with loads of poorly mastered ports of Nintendo games and that. And people called him out about this, but he was doing the same crap that Bethesda was doing to these YouTube creators and that, by accusing them for tarnishing the credibility in that. So many content creators did by right call them out on the bullshit. The ones like the Dreamcast guy and Rich from Review Tech USA that also covered about these issues of giving people a defined demonstration of what not to do. And other contributors that also staunchly covered this was Young Ye. And here's a divine demonstration of what not to do to your customers by treating them like crap and with these backhanded tactics and accusing YouTubers and that with these issues. And when it comes to advertising a bag that's made out of the materials and that you're supposed to fulfill it. And not cheapen the bag. I should know about how not to treat your customers. I should know. I used to volunteer for various voluntary shops, and if these customers got a problem, I have the utmost some should say utmost respect how to handle the problem, or I go to get the manager to tackle with them. And didn't give them inflammatory excuses. Oh, but I said, no, you're being a bad customer. Now we're gonna make you write a 100-page essay to why what you did was totally bad. That's called bad for practice and called bad for business. And these people who run these companies should not get away with this by treating its customers like young children. And this is the whole demonstration of what not to do. If you are planning on to form a company and that it's a whole long-standing issue of this whole ethic of deplore, neglect, demand respect, which these customers, that's also your fans, should demand the respect of these companies. But when you do enforce these bans and that, do it smartly by not enforcing people to give you 100-page essays or what they did was bad. It's stupid. It's called the draconian and Orwellian approach how to treat your loyal fan base and that. You don't see these pop artists singling out the really fan for calling them idiots, and the fan, when the fan says your song sucks. So, and the pop artists say, right, for your stupidity, we're gonna put you in the corner by putting you this methodical dancer's cap, and at the same time, we're gonna make you write a 100-page essay for what you did was totally bad. That's gonna cause people to get really mega pissed off. In which the whole issue of how to get the van reverse from these companies like Bethesda, what doing it is not great. It's a divine example how to destroy a company. It's utterly stupid, ridiculous. And this is the whole issue I've been highlighting when it comes to of honouring the products that are advertised, not cheaping the product, giving people inflammatory excuses by replacing it with cheap, crappy material and producing an inferior product in order to get away with it by to lure people into not into this trap by giving them measly credits to spend on the install shop, so they can rescind their chances of refund or replace of a product, like what they did with the whole canvas bag issue, in which I find it totally ridiculous if they say, no, we've run out of material, blah 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 blah, but the companies like Bethesda, that is a multi-million dollar institution, they should have enough materials and that to fulfill its demands. And like I said earlier, if they can have enough materials to knock up 40 to 60 plus bags to give to these respected prominent influencers for attending the event, to show they got enough material to fulfill thousands upon thousands of pre-order exclusive bags, and that for its loyal hardcore customers. And like I said, the whole stupidity of banning people for using certain type of mods. I get it, if those are willing to bend the rules, by rightly they should be punished, but when it comes to the tradition of Bethesda games like Skyrim and etc etc etc, where there's loads of mods and that, which they had no issue of players doing that to the games and that. But I get it if they try to foster the whole multiplayer model, like nuances of PvP and that into Fallout 76 and that, then they can have every right to ban those who are willing to bend the rules by cheating, by giving them skill advances and that over its rivals. Then yes, they should be banned, but making them write a 100-page docket to submit to Todd Howard, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. No respected company has ever did that in its long 40 odd history of the video gaming industry. Not that I've ever heard of. If every company did that, they're gonna piss off so many of these loyal fans that made for these companies for what they are. They're gonna have no respect and loyalty of these fan bases left. And they're taking pot shots at these people that's been calling them out in order to get away with this. If this was any other company round about now, they will end up sucking people for treating its customers like crap. And by sugarcoating it and by washing the whole issue under the carpet is stupid.
Right behind you. Great work.
Amongst other thing else, what these companies do in order to get away with it. Just like I used the likes of Kathleen Kennedy and Ryan Johnson, what they did with the Star Wars fandom, and what Paul Feig and Melissa McCarthy did and Kate DeBoer did with the Ghostbusters fandom, and the most recently exactly the same with the Doctor Who fandom with Chris Chibnall giving them the exact treatment and courtesy. But so, you know, for those of you who did not like our product, you're a bunch of self-entitled crybabies, and you have no purpose of being here. That type of display and banality and stupidity, and that can ruin the image and the reputation. And before you know it, you're gonna have no loyal fans and that left to support you, to your companies and that. When you're delivering products and that, you're supposed to fulfill upon your wishes. Great product, great results. Bad product, but bad results. that type of ethic when it comes to advertising and selling the product. But what they did with the whole handling of the canvas bug issue was stupid. Instead of putting their hands up in the air, so they said, "Oh, yeah, we made a mistake. We thought we didn't have the materials in there, but we took restock on the materials is in the department that handles the merchandise, and we find loads of material left over, so we're going to honor the bags that are advertised. After all, we're deeply sorry for this." Then the whole issue will never get worse. People will ultimately accept that when video games come out, they do a tendency to come out in a broken state, and willing to give these companies time and redemption to correct it. Not by making inflammatory and stupid excuses and doing Orwellian approaches and draconian methods to punish your fan base. And it's basically like this: you're in a soccer team. Yeah, I'm going to say soccer because some of my viewers are from the United States. Right, you do exceedingly bad, and the coach puts you in a corner, and as for your punishment, you got to give him a 100-page docketed essay to explain why you underperformed so bad. The soccer coaches and that don't do that to its players. So if they don't do this to these players, why should the CEOs like the Todd Howard and that do exactly the same to its fans?
All right, ready if you are. Hold them.
That type of thing. And this is coming from a person that never played a Fallout game or any Bethesda title in my playing experience. So I doing this as a concerning consumer like myself that likes to collect video game oddities and that. And what I've seen and heard is total shocking. It's utterly stupid. But many people said, "Oh gosh, you come down heavily on, harshly on Bethesda and these companies." So I said, "No. I want to get to put this whole message across of how not to treat it to your fan base by treating them like rubbish, basically." And this is one of the encroaching dangers is about these once respected companies, how they turn themselves into this type of stupid and they're using Orwellian and the draconian methods how to handle people that's abusing the system. By making them write a 100-page docket, it's ridiculous. It's called What Not to Do in a Company. If somebody wrote a book, 100, a guide to 100 do's or don'ts is about starting a company, one thing they should put in this book is don't make your customer base and fans write a 100-page docket essay. What you did is bad. Schools can do this and can get away with it for a reason to make an example of unruly children. But companies has no right to do that to its players, and able to live in the ivory towers and that, drinking the most expensive vodka that's twice as better as the ones that the fans got, and them laughing their heads off, going, "Wah ha ha! We got away with it. We forced this kid to write us a 100-page docket essay. What they did was bad. Wah ha ha ha! Let's get away with it the next time." But that is not good advert and good behavior to maintain your once good reputation and standing. And this whole tapped on issues, the problems these companies are using and doing of late.
Research and learning. Maybe someday it will be again.
It's getting ridiculous. What's gonna come next? Casey Hudson at Bioware gonna do exactly the same to Anthem players? I had to ban you because I believe you was cheating. In order to get the ban reversed, I want you to write me a 100-page docket essay on what he did was bad. And people are going to get a whiff of this, and they're going to call Casey Hudson out on his shenanigans. And that's going to ruin his name and reputation. I'm sure he will never do that. He will make sure that he treats its fans with utmost respect. Not treat him like crap, like the bunch of 5-year-olds. It's called bad for practice and bad for business. That type of thing. It's like every thing else is in life, where certain people that are willing to bend the rules and etc, etc, etc. And the audacity and the crass banality how to tackle criticism by accusing those for doing videos reporting on the issue. And if they take the criticism upon board from the likes of the Dreamcast guy, Review Tech USA, and Young Ye, and it's a Gundam and Legacy Killer, then these companies will end up learning upon their mistakes and how to better themselves as a company to keep their good name and their faith and standing with its fans. Instead of doing shitty backhanded tactics like the way they did. Not use stupidity. What would these companies rather prefer? Having a fan base or having no fan base and player base? They rather go for having a fan base. So in order to have a fan slash player base, you got to treat them with respect. You can't have a fan base and player base that is loyal and by treating them like crap, basically. That's not how business works. It calls dampening the experiences and that. And when they use shitty ass tactics like what these companies have been doing of late, then they don't deserve their accolades what they got. And all these ratings in the 9s and the 10s by these social media sites by lauding them for as the most respected company of the year, blah 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 blah, whilst they're using scummy ass tactics like the ones I've mentioned. It's called bad for practice and bad for business. That type of thing. Because where these companies are going, sooner or later, they're gonna have no customers left. And when they do that, they're gonna go out of business due down to the crass stupidity and etc. This is the whole thing about this issue. It's upon hand. But this should be a divine lesson in strategy to these companies what I'm trying to put across. Of how not to treat its loyal fan base and customers. And this is not how because how these companies should do it, and hoping to get away with it, and etc, etc. And before you know it, the word of mouth goes around saying, "Oh, you're gonna buy the next Bethesda title," and that. They said yes. They said to them, "Don't bother." They said, "Why?" They're gonna treat you like crap, so don't waste your time. Because a mate of mine got accused of X, Y, and Z, and he had no choice but to write them a 100-page docket essay about the morality of cheating. In order to get the ban lifted for using something like a modern hat in one of the video games. And fans and games and that should all band together and teach these companies to define lessons. So said, no, we're not going to stand for your crap anymore. They should rise up and said that's it. You treated us like crap. We're not longer gonna take this nonsense no more. But there's a huge problem about this, is you're gonna get certain people and that's gonna willing to white knight these companies to the very ends of the cosmos by challenge those who criticize them, and that by calling them self-entitled crybabies and casualites.
Our intelligence on this place is getting too stale. Time to shine some light on it, Guardians.
That's not how... That's not how to do things. It's because as a company, you want to get a good reputation and good friendship, but with your customers, and etc. That is the correct way of doing it, but the not correct way of doing it is by treating them like crap, basically. And that's all I have to cover on these issues. I've talked to Zon about this issues. I got what I say out, and to put people to better clarity and that about these companies is using tactics and that and be allowed to get away with it. by finishing off by going to the Iron Temple because my throat is starting to feel like a rough carpet.
Lady Guardian, you have returned. I hope you can appreciate what you have now. We're grateful for the help.
Right, gonna head back to the tower. Then I'm gonna do the signing off. And this stream was no way to attack or offend companies like Bethesda and the whole. It was a way to get across things was what they shouldn't have done in the first place regarding to this Fallout 76 issue. And how they treated them loyal customers.
I hope you like it. Take care of that ship for me.
Right, so you get down to this discount Mos Eisley cantina. Right, and that does it. Thank you for your viewing pleasure and listening today what I had to say about these whole issues and that, wherever you are in the world. I hope it gives you better clarity and that. Wherever you are, what you do for the rest of the day, have a great day, and don't forget to tune in every Friday morning at 9 AM BST for weekly inventory roundup video. Don't forget to follow me on social media. My social media links will be in the dot below and the description box and etc, etc, etc. Until then, this is me, Frankie Croftsmails. Have a great day and stay safe and fairly well. See you Starside, and may the force be with you, and fairly well.